Hi, everybody. I am so thrilled to introduce you to a dear friend and colleague of mine, Jami Lynn Bula, who specializes in pleasure, which is a really unique specialty. Really about sexuality and sexual pleasure and finding healthy pleasure in yourself and in your coupleship. And so for those of us who are here who are therapists, I think you have so much to offer and help people think through how boundaries actually make pleasure way more likely to happen.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And thank you for having me. I love talking about boundaries and sexuality because it's actually the thing that allows us to create the best sexual relationships we possibly can with other people.
Yeah, okay, so slow down and say that again, because I think that's not actually something that people talk about a whole lot in our culture,
Right.
about how boundaries are going to bring more closeness and more pleasure to people.
Absolutely.
Can you blow that
So,
out a little bit for people?
absolutely. So the first I'm going to start with what made that click for me.
Okay.
I have been interested in sexuality and relationships as long as I can remember, and I've always known I wanted to do therapy. And so whenever I started to research and understand, okay, so what's going on with sexuality, the piece of research that actually made this click for me was about children. So there's a study from Germany where they were watching children play within a playground. And there was one playground that they would study where the children did not have a fence around them. And what they found was that all the kids would stay really close to each other and they would not explore very much. And then there was another playground that had a fence. And whenever they would track the kids' movement, they would go all over the place. They went every single area in the playground rather than staying in a little pocket together. And that made my mind go, oh, when you know your boundaries sexually, you have more space to play.
Yeah.
There's more room to get creative
Uh-huh.
and do new things with your partner that are exciting and fun. Because now you know, okay, this is our safe space. We can play inside this safe area. These are all the boundaries. And we can have as much juicy fun in here as possible.
I love it. So if an individual comes in to you and is talking about issues that are coming up, do you wait for them to bring up boundary difficulties, or are you pretty quick to jump in with boundaries? Because that is
So,
such an important part of pleasure and exploration.
right. When I first start talking to people about sexuality, in the back of my mind, I'm holding the reality that most of us are not exposed to really good sex ed.
Yeah.
We're actually,
I just had lots of thoughts go through
right.
about like in my home and school. It was not good.
I'm from Texas. My public education sex ed was all about scaring the students. It was not about educating us or talking about pleasure and why everyone would want to have sex and why people were having sex. And instead, it was just if you do anything sexual, this bad thing will happen to you. So, scare tactics, I don't actually think works. What works is healthy boundaries. And so, whenever my client comes in, the first thing I say is actually a boundary statement. I can sum up sexual wellness in 6 words. It is the balance between safety and pleasure.
Oh, whoa. Say that again.
So I can sum up sexual wellness in 6 words. It is the balance between safety and pleasure.